Okay, in this video we're going to do some basic drafting, or actually really basic sketching skills. We're going to practice it. You're not using any drafting tools really on this one. The only drafting tools you might use other than your pencil for this one would be your eraser shield and your eraser if you need them. Alright, and I want to show you sometimes. I'm actually going to purposely make some mistakes so you can see how they apply. Alright, so I'm going to start off simply by using my pencil. I can use my 0.7. If you cannot draw lightly or darkly, etc., use your 0.5 for your light, 7 for your most of your work in between, and the 9 for your really dark lines. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by essentially gridding out this Maltese cross so that I have something to work off of here that gives me an approximation of the grid below. Now, I know that's kind of hard to see with my pencil, so what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to take that highlighter I have here and do the same thing. I'm using the highlighter since it stands out a little bit better, and I want y'all to be able to see what I mean. Now, these lines are what are called your construction or your projection lines. We're using this to construct and project the object. They're not going to be dark, they're supposed to be light, okay? So now I know that this is my rough sketch of the Maltese cross, and I'm going to come down here. Now I want you to look at something, and you'll see this again. Right here it says doubling its original size. We are not going to do that. No, 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 no. We're going to leave it as straightforward as what we got here. So I'm going to pick a corner. I'm going to start like right here, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 over, 3 down. 2, 3, 4. Now I know that's hard to see, right? So that's why I'm using the highlighter right now. Y'all don't need to use a highlighter. Y'all should be able to see what you're drawing. Just to make sure you can see what I'm drawing in the video though, I'm using a highlighter to sketch. I'm using that to represent those really light projection and construction lines. So jump over one, and I'm going to repeat another one. All I'm doing is rough sketching in. Where does this Maltese cross exist? Where should its information be? None of this is dark. Yeah, it's just all construction. And then I have that little square in the middle. Oops, and see I jumped over one too many. Oh no, what do I do? Just draw it back over again. And just, if I did it in pencil I could erase it, but oh well. It's going to make it a little complicated for y'all to see, but you'll let's just go ahead and start drawing it, and you'll get it from there. This is why you always use a pencil, and this is why you always do it very lightly, because when you screw up, because you're going to, even when you're not planning on, it's going to happen. So let's go in. I'm going to get my 0.9 because it's a little thicker lead, and I want you to be able to see what I'm drawing here. So I notice that this line starts here, and it comes up straight and over, down and over, right? So this line here, that's what we're going to draw first. So I'm going to come here, draw straight over, over, and over. And I'm actually going to purposely go over a little bit much to get a point to show you how to get rid of it. And then I come here, look at the bottom, so I'm just trying to make it look as much like the problem given as I can. Now, I should not have a line right here. Accidentally do something like that, don't freak out. Put your eraser shield right on it. Get your brush, clean off if you need to, and there you go. So you're going to continue this drawing and make it look as much as like you can, possibly the one given in the PowerPoint. Let's show you how to do this one. This one's circles. So to start off by drawing it, I'm going to block in. So I'm going to block in my areas. Again, normally you just do this with your pencil. I'm afraid you won't be able to see it well enough, so that's why I'm using the highlighter to make it stand out. So step 1, block it in. Step 2 is I know I have a bunch of circles, so let's start blocking in those areas for those circles. So I would have I block it in. That's all I'm doing. When I block it in, that gives me my areas where my circles would exist. I'm approximating what that size should be. So I know how to make my circles fit inside of it. And then you lightly sketch it first. Get a generic idea how it's going to go. Lightly sketch, lightly sketch, lightly sketch. Then go back and darken it in. Don't lift your pencil up. Make a nice continuous line. I am not expecting these circles to be perfect because we are just sketching right now. We're just practicing. And I'm going to purposely make this a visible line when it's supposed to be a hidden line so that I can show you again how to use that eraser shield. The only thing thicker than a visible line should be your border and inner section lines. And I look in here and I go, oh no, I've made it. Oops, what do I do? It's supposed to be a hidden line. Get that eraser shield. And technically that hidden line should be a little bit lighter than this. And just keep going around and erasing it out. But I was drawing it correctly on the first time around. So there's the circle for that one. Not quite as dark, a bit dark. Dash lines. And you just finish it out. Same thing with this one. Lock it in. Once you block it in, kind of rough sketch it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just needs to be a sketch so that you can go back and finish it. Okay, so look at your examples again. You got examples in the PowerPoint of exactly what it should end up looking like. Isometric of the house. This one's the same. I've actually given you some point of references to start off of. So those lines right here are these same lines right there. So we're sketching, we're not drawing it perfectly, we're not drafting it yet, we're still sketching. So we want it to be a proportional, approximate, we want it to look essentially the same. So let's start off, and we're just going to pick a point, and we're going to start off by starting with the chimney. I only draw and darken the parts that I know. Like I know that comes back to there. Now here's the next part. I'm not 100% for sure where that's going to end yet. I'm going to look at it and try to get an approximation, and I'll use my approximation by looking at this because we want it to be proportional. I'm going to say it's going to end right there.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. So I look at that and know, okay, so let's darken that in now that I've rough sketched it. And rough sketch where the window's going to go. Once you rough sketch, then you final sketch. Again, rough sketch, get it to where it looks appropriate, then make your lines darker. Remember, it's proportional, it's not going to be perfect. You're trying to make it look as close to it as you can, so you rough sketch everything in. I've yet to darken anything in, right? Only darken in what you know is right. Rough sketch, use those construction lines, those projection lines, to get it in there. So that should hit the middle of that, and it should come back to there. So, rough sketch. Don't worry about getting it perfect right now. Rough sketch it in. So that should come back up like that. Rough sketch it in. Get it to where it looks like it, then come back and darken it in. Okay. Remember, right now we're just sketching. You're just learning. You're just doing the basics. I don't expect it to be perfect yet. We're not using our tools. We're just sketching. Same thing with this one. I've given you pointer reference. You just need to finish the drawing. Do not darken it in at first. Sketch it. Lightly sketch it. Bring it up to about where you think it goes. Actually, that's the end of it, so that needs to come into here. That's the reason why we sketch everything. We don't draw anything dark while we're roughing it in. So you rough draft it in, figure out approximately where everything goes. Then go back in, darken it in. Okay. Start off with light, then go to dark. I'm not going to finish it because you can go look at the example and see from there. The last two in here are bonus points, so you can pick one to do. Don't do both. You can only do one. I'm only going to give 50-point bonus for one of them. Pick one. You can either do enlargement of the stapler, or you can do the pier fitting here. Your choice. Doesn't matter to me. Again, the steps are still the same. Rough sketch it in, get it to proportional to the size about where it needs to go. Sketch everything in before you go in and start making it dark. So get an idea of where you think everything's going to go. So I think that comes like right there. See? Sketch it, and then after you sketch it, go in. After you got everything sketched, you draw it and draft it in. Make sure you use the right line types. Like right here, you have your long break, your heartbeat. This is a form of hatching. I know it's different than the sectional lines that we practice drawing. Those are the generic and those are the most commonly used sectional lines, but you can use other section lines like these different hatch marks for the different type of dark concrete, etc. Like this one right here specifically for concrete. There's different parts that are in there, okay? If we're doing the stapler, the easiest way to do your stapler is to start blocking it in over here so you have a point of reference where everything's at. Actually, that curve ends right there. And so I'm going to double everything. So I know I'm going to start off with a line right here coming up. And I'm literally going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So come up 22. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So there's that first part, and then I know I come down 1, 2, 3. So this ends right there. There we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to come over 10. And I'm going to come down 8. So I've blocked in that corner for that arc. And you just continue going through the process. You would block in the area here. Measure it, find out where it goes here, block it in, and draw it. Okay? Alright. Good luck on your basic drafting. Remember to refer back to the PowerPoint often for examples and use this video to help you as you need it.